Well, everyone, it's time for us to kind of compile all of our iPhone SE 2025 leaks in kind of one video and kind of give you a synopsis of everything you can probably expect from the iPhone SE 2025 model that's going to be coming out, aka in 2025, presumably. Now, take this whole video with a grain of salt. I could be completely wrong, but I do think there's a very high likelihood that the iPhone SE 2025 model could probably end up coming out early next year, so potentially less than a year from now. I think early 2025, somewhere around like that, probably like May-ish, April-ish timeframe, sometime around the spring. I think there's a high likelihood this particular iPhone could end up coming around. And I think, like I said before, there's a very high likelihood this thing is going to be coming out around that timeframe. So that kind of covers up the release date of this particular device. Now, on top of that, when it comes down to the other side of these particular phones, specifically the price tag, this is also another very interesting thing going on here. With this particular phone, with the iPhone SE4, I'm not really too sure how expensive this particular phone is going to cost, but one thing is certain, it's probably going to cost more than $429, but I think it's going to cost less than $699. Now, I could be totally wrong, but when I look at phones like the iPhone 14 that Apple is still selling, I think that particular iPhone is still a very good device and has a ton of capability. I'm not too sure how long of a particular device that one's going to last though, like I mentioned, but I think when it comes down to it, either Apple's going to replace the iPhone 13, 14 lineup with a whole entire new iPhone SE generation of devices, and they're going to stop bringing those older iPhones down to those price tags, or what Apple could end up doing is that they could end up probably bringing in some other devices too, and they're probably going to, keep maybe the $699 iPhone, but bring in something like the $599 iPhone SE3 or iPhone SE4. I'm not really too sure what's going to end up happening there, but I do think that's another likelihood that could end up happening from this particular situation as well. Now, on top of that, I think another situation is with devices like, the iPhone SE specs. So with the iPhone SE 2025 model, I'm pretty sure there's a high likelihood, like I mentioned before, that this particular device could end up kind of coming out with the maybe Apple A16 or Apple A17 chip inside. I think that's something that could end up happening there. And on top of that, when you look at that particular device too, I think there's a very high likelihood where those particular devices could actually end up having 4 to 6 gigabytes of RAM. I think it's probably going to be closer to 6. But I think that is another big thing that could end up happening there too. Apple could end up bringing that particular situation or that particular chipset inside of this particular phone as well. And with that amount of RAM, I could see this thing being a very, very good phone so that could last for a long period of time. It's probably still going to maintain a notch, but there's been rumors that this thing could end up bringing some sort of like Touch ID sensor with a dynamic island. I think that would be really crazy. It's probably going to look something like an iPhone 14. That's probably what I'm hearing. But it could also look like an iPhone 15 with an action button. And if this thing comes out in 2025, if all iPhones have action buttons, I think that's a very high likelihood of a thing that could also end up happening here as well. So I'm very much looking forward to it. I genuinely cannot wait for these particular devices to come out. But from that particular perspective, I'll tell you that kind of covers it up here. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.